Alright, welcome to Vikas web channel, and in this video I am going to show you different ways of making function or creating function and using function in JavaScript. This will be rather a short video, but still I guess a useful video, because when I started learning JavaScript, there were all these different kind of function call, and I was really confused. So if you are in the same situation like I was some time ago, then probably this video will be useful for you. So if that's what you are looking for, then smash that like button so that others can see this video. And if you are new to this channel and you like videos related to web development, React, JavaScript, Vue, Express, Node, anything, so definitely I will be uploading those videos. So better you subscribe the channel and probably also hit that bell icon so that when I upload new video, you will be notified. With that being said, let's start the video. All right, I will just make a function, and that function all it needs to do is gives me double. Okay, so let's say double the number. That's the name of our function. So first thing first, one way to do function is just easy function, and you have this place for argument, and this is what you will be doing all your function logic. Okay, so is that good? No, we need to give the name here, and the name will be double. Okay, now this is complete. Okay, so and then in the function we are accepting some argument, we are expecting some argument, and that will be, let's say, a number. Okay, and what we will return is, we can do a multiple way. First we can call const, and then we can call is double number, and then that double number will be whatever the number we are passing as an argument here, and we will be multiplying that with 2. So that is our double number. Okay, so in the function we will have argument, we can have multiple arguments here, so another number, you know, and maybe name, which it can be string, many things, but for now let's just take it with number. So now we have this double number, and if you call now function, because just defining function does nothing. Okay, it does something but we can't see it. Okay, so we need to call, you know, and if we don't call, then this function will not run. So for that, if you don't believe that, then let's just do console log, and I can say inside a double function. Okay, so now let's save it, and just so you know, I have this index.html, and where I have been using this app.js, and this is just simple JavaScript file. I could have done in directly in console of this browser, or I could have done also here in the terminal, but I prefer this way. So now when I save it here, you see there isn't anything. Okay, why is that? It is because we need to call this function. Let's call this. Okay, let's see what happens when we call this. So now when we call this, we will see that inside a double function. Okay, and that is okay. However, this is not how we are supposed to call this number, because when we call this number, we need to pass something there, and that something is number. So let's pass 2 here. Okay, and when I do that, it still says inside a double function, but we didn't get our double number, and that is because just by creating a function and calling function, we don't get anything. What we need is, we need to return something, and you have to return it at the last. So let's say double number, and now when I do this, if I save this, nothing is happening. Why? Well, it is because in reality, if we are using it in real application and we are using this value somewhere, then this is enough. But in our case, we need to console log this. So let's do console log, and let's have it here. Now when I save it, you will see that inside a double function is called, and we are getting 4. Why? Because we passed these 2. Let's make it even interesting. So double of number 2 is, and then I give a comma here, I save, and now you can see double of number 2 is 4. And if we change this from 2 to 3, you got it. I will get double of number 3 is 6. So this is how we initiate the function. This same thing we can also do it a little bit different way. For example, if I ask you to generate a variable in JavaScript, we will do, let's say, age, and we give age 12. Somehow that's my favorite number. So this is our age, all of our age. Okay. for this tutorial or video, or however you want to say it. I don't like to call it tutorial, but more of a sharing my knowledge. So if I now have this age, now for example, if I console log my age, well, I mean our age here, you will see that we have 12, and we have inside a double function, and then double number 3 is 6. You see, although we have a function here, but this is being called first. See, 12. Okay, and then this function will be called. So first this will be called inside a double function, and at last, because we have something here, and at last we have all of these printed out. Anyway, the idea is that now we have age is 12. Okay, just like that, I can call this double, and instead of this I can call it function, and that function will take an argument, and it will do basically exactly the same thing. So this, and just like there was this, I can give it here, and let me comment this out so that we don't have duplicate name or duplicate variable, then we will get complaint. Let's remove this age, we don't have it anymore. So now if I save this, you will see that inside a double function is called, and we are getting the double of 3, which is 6. So you see, you can call function without using const, or you don't need to say const. You can even use let, I guess. You can see that's the same thing, but however, this is one way of doing it, this is another way of doing it, and both are okay. It's just that if you don't use this approach, then you have to give the name after function before argument, but this approach you gave already, and then you have to equal sign, and then you start the function. Okay, so now let's go with the third approach, and that approach is it is also called fat arrow. Okay, or arrow function. So you can see arrow function. So that's what we will be doing. So let's do the arrow function. So for that, well, we can do let's do double. Usually it's better to use const. Here we have the same thing, and here instead of having function and then like this, you see this is the same thing. Okay, so instead of that, what we can do is remove this function from here, but since we removed that, so we need to add something else, and that is what we call fat arrow. Okay, or arrow function. That's how the name is there. So now we were passing argument here, so inside this small bracket we will be doing exactly the same thing. So let's pass the argument, and it can be, as I said, 1 to unlimited or without any arguments if you don't need. Okay, so here we can have number, we can have name, we can have another number, and you guessed it, whatever. We can even have function inside a function. That's why those functions are called higher order functions, because they accept other functions as an argument. Okay, so here inside I will basically copy exactly the same thing. So now you guessed it, let me comment this out, although we have let there, but still. And now if I save this, and you see we have exactly the same thing. Let's refresh this one more time. We have exactly the same thing. If you don't believe, let me change this so you know that this function is being called. And now you see I put the change there, and this is exactly the same thing. So whether we have this arrow function, or let me comment this arrow function, or we have this kind of function definition. So first we have name of the function, and then we have function small bracket, and then this curly bracket and everything, all the logic inside. Or we can already use the function name and then give the variable name and then use the bracket. All these are function. So but when you have this kind of arrow function, we can even go one step forward, and that is, instead of doing all this, let's do the exact same thing. We have this and we have this, you see. So to go there, first I would like to do something. So let me comment this. So you see, I will take this away, okay? Or actually, no, I don't need to take that away. Let's just move this a little bit here, okay? So instead of doing this, first I'm defining this double number is this, and then returning that number. Instead of that, what I can do is, you see, I can return directly. So I can return directly this. So this way I didn't need to define this double number and then do all this. I mean, there are situations, and there will be a lot of situations where you cannot just do like this. You need to do a lot of logic there. You need to check if else, or you need to calculate something, or you need to do API calls, or there can be a lot of other use cases where you will be doing a lot of those, and then only returning at the end some variable or some values. But in this case, when we have just one statement going on, we can return just like this. And if I comment this out here, and if I save it, you can see we have basically the same thing, and that is totally okay. But I'm going to show you one more thing. Now here, since we have only one statement, I'm still talking about arrow function here. But this logic you can do everywhere here, like here, and then also here. You can just return and then just this. We don't need to have this variable there. But in case of arrow function, we can go one step forward, and that is, you see, we are just doing only one logic. As I said, if you have more logic, then definitely you will need this kind of curly braces, and then you have to do all the logic there, and then you return one thing, or whatever you want to return, or whatever you need to return. But here, when we have only one thing here to return, one statement, we don't need this curly bracket at all. All we can do is we can just do numbers times 2, and that is, and we of course need number here. And actually, if we have only one thing here, if we have more than 2, I mean more than 1, I don't know what's happening to me, it's pretty late, so maybe I'm feeling a bit sleepy. But anyway, if we have another number, then you need these 2. But otherwise, if you have only one of these, then you also don't need this, and you don't need this. So you see, this is basically exactly the same thing as this arrow function. So we have the name of the function, and then we have equals to. So this is the function, and we can put it inside bracket, but we don't need it because there is only one argument. And then this, if we use curly brackets, we have to use return, okay? Otherwise it will not return anything. But if we have only one line, one statement, one logic going on there, we don't have any if else or anything such, then all we can do is just this much, and that will do basically the same thing. So, and let's try that. But in that case, you cannot do this kind of console log because it needs to be only one thing there. So let's comment this out, okay? And now you see double of number 3 is 6, okay? So let's try with 4, and let's try with, I mean, that's the same thing. So double of 4 is 8, and if we want, we can change this to is it triple, and we can also do it triple of number 4, and then we have to change the name here and then you have to do the 3 times here, and if you save, you see the triple of number 4 is 12. Okay, so that is all I think for this video. I'm not going with a lot of arguments and everything, because I think you already know function, but I was just showing different ways to call functions. So now if we uncomment everything, then if I also uncomment this here, and if I also uncomment this here, then you see there is one way of doing it, where we are returning. There is another way of doing it where we have the variable and function, and then we have the arrow function, and lastly we have this. So you see, you will be seeing this thing a lot in React or even in plain JavaScript, because why not to do this when you can basically make your code a lot simpler and shorter, and it's easier to write and faster to write, and you will understand it once you start doing it. So this is all. If you have any comment, or if you think that I'm missing something, or you want me to do something else explaining more about functions, then definitely I will do that. Please feel free to leave those in the comment section below. And if you are enjoying this video, and if you are expecting much more videos related to web development, React, Vue, or even backend with Node and Express, then definitely you should subscribe my channel, because I will be doing those videos in coming days. With that all, thank you so much for watching this video, and enjoy coding. Bye bye.